Who is the happy warrior? Who is he? That every man in arms should wish to be. It is the generous spirit. And so that's how William Wordsworth's poem that he wrote in the early 1800s, The Soul of the Happy Warrior, that's how it begins. And it continues, finds comfort in himself and in his cause. And while the mortal mist is gathering, draws his breath in confidence of heaven's applause. This is the happy warrior, this is he that every man in arms should wish to be. And there's another poem I'll quote. With Wordsworth's poem, I just did the opening stanza and the closing one. And again, the closing words of William Ernest Henley's great poem Invictus ends, I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. And that's because these define the credo of the happy warrior, that it is indeed my honor to serve. Happy warriors live productively because every aspect of living productively involves a fight. You see, that's why I think of myself as a happy warrior, and why I welcome you to the ranks of the happy warriors. Warrior, because every aspect of life is a fight, and it has to be that way. The fact is that the way the good Lord built the world in Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 was a world of Tohu Bohu. And what that means is essentially a world that science describes as a world of entropy. And that is that things tend towards chaos in this world. You know, just imagine I filled a jar, one of these big glass jars, and I put a layer of red marbles and a layer of green marbles and a layer of red and then a layer of green, a layer of red, a layer of green, and then I start shaking them, and if you've got a good imagination, you can hear the dreadful racket it's making, you know, hundreds of marbles inside a jar. My question to you is, for how long do you think I have to shake before all those marbles that have migrated around as I shake, how long before you notice them returning to ordered layers of green and red? Now, your intuition says never, and you'd be absolutely right. How about if I broadened the description and accepted any form of pattern, vertical lines of green and red, diagonal lines of green and red, two greens and a red, and then two reds and a, anything that becomes a pattern? How long now do you think I have to shake? Forever. It doesn't happen. Isn't it weird if you think about it? We started them off in a pattern, we shake, they migrate around, and they don't ever come back to a pattern. That's the world in which we live. Now, what that means is that as happy warriors, we have to fight to maintain everything in our lives. Do you have a garden? Do you like your garden and you'd rather it doesn't turn into a jungle of weeds? You need to work at it. You need to maintain your house, or the siding will start cracking, the paint starts peeling, and windows break. You maintain a house. How about your car? If you don't maintain your car, it will be a heap of rust within a few years. Everything takes work. Do you want to maintain your career? Well, you'd better. You've got to give attention to your career, because otherwise you've got a business. How about you build a business? You can't build a business and then relax. It's a constant fight to keep it going. How about a marriage? If you think that once you're married you can start relaxing, then I'm afraid that that's not a very good marriage, and your spouse isn't going to be very happy, because that's not the way it really works. Even a marriage requires constant maintenance. It's a fight. Raising your children. If you don't want them to be nothing more than little bureaucrats in training and not more than little socioeconomic cogs, then you need them to be your sons and your daughters, and that takes work. And so essentially we take great delight in the fact that from the moment we open our eyes till the moment we lay our heads down on the pillow at night, we are fighters, constant warriors making sure that we are struggling against the forces of entropy. We are struggling to achieve, because the natural order of things is to create resistance to whatever we want to do. It's hard to lose weight. It's hard to write a book. It's hard to build a business. It's hard to do anything worthwhile. And we're constantly fighting against this negative spiritual gravity that tends to pull us down. So I'm taking a lot longer to describe it than William Wordsworth did in the early 1800s, or any other poets who tackle this concept do. But you get the idea. So a warrior, yeah, we're very happy, because the only alternative to that is to be dead, and then you don't have to fight anymore. Then you can relax and you can retire, take it easy, nothing to do at that point. You can't even do anything if you want to. It's all over. And at that point, as a soul only in spirit, you cannot achieve anything anymore. Whatever you've achieved, you've got with you at that point. And why do I say we're happy warriors? Well, because, happiness is a decision, you see. One of the lessons I learned from my mother that I've never forgotten, I must have been 10 years old or something, maybe 11 or 12, and at some point she exploded at me and said she can't stand me walking around with a grumpy look on my face and complaining and whining. Please go off to your room, I don't want to see you anymore. I said, well, what do you want? She said, I want you to be happy. I said, well, get me a motorcycle. And at that point, a loud noise accompanied a stinging sensation on my face, and I walked around with 4 finger marks on my cheek for the rest of the day. It was a pretty good lesson, and she said, don't ever suggest again that your happiness is my responsibility. It isn't. It's yours. I learned that lesson. And so happiness, of course it's a responsibility. You owe it not just to your Creator, but you owe it to the people you live with. You know, talk about pollution. There's no worse pollution than imposing your unhappiness on the people around you. Or how about the people you work with? You can create a really toxic environment, really, by just being so unhappy that people feel they have to walk around on eggshells not to set you off. You destroy the creativity of the enterprise. And so, yes, happiness is a responsibility we all take seriously. And there we are. We constantly try and be happy. That's a requirement. It's something that the Bible is very emphatic about. In Deuteronomy, towards the end of the book, the Lord actually says that all these bad things have come across you because you have not served the Lord your God in joy and happiness because of all the good things He's brought to you. That's pretty direct. And so, happy warrior, that's exactly what we are. And it's what I warmly invite you to become part of. It's a really exciting and inspiring community. We communicate, we connect, because if we all share this credo of the happy warrior, then we have enough in common with one another to be able to become real friends. So thank you for considering this invitation, and I certainly look forward to connecting with you on our Happy Warriors special site, the place where I get a surge of spontaneous warmth surging up in my soul whenever I'm there, because I realize I am not alone. I am a happy warrior, and there are many more of you just like me. Fantastic. It's the way I love it. See you then.